everyone, it's Aramori. I'm here with Coach Crimzo, and we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Rivals Season 2 changes. This is perfect because we both haven't really watched anything.
I've already watched nothing.
All of our teammates have looked at everything, and they've been talking about everything. Both of us just have not.
Alright, first we're going to take a look at the Hellfire Gala trailer.
To all our new guests from across the timelines, I welcome you to the Hellfire Gala.
Damn, she's inviting us.
Is this the new map?
Yeah.
Welcome one and all to Krakoa. This living island may be a sovereign mutant
Oh my god, that
nation,
Luna's is so fire.
but tonight,
I don't like that wolf skin. That's way
is
too much hair.
He's like you.
honored
Way too much
guests,
hair.
I propose a toast.
Oh my god, she's all legs.
Here
Dude,
there are no
she's
rivals.
all
Man
legs.
and mutant.
Will be exterminated. You all belong to your
It's the Deceptic.
This is a fight for our survival.
Oh my god, this one looks so cool.
Yep.
try
Hey, Groot! No.
survive just long enough to see my way.
Is that Iron Man? No, it's the new guy, right?
That's the new guy.
What is he?
I think that's Ultron.
Oh.
Alright, so we're taking a look at the Emma Frost trailer. Yo!
White Queen's reign begins.
Wow, she got too much leg action going on.
She just turns into Diamond.
You deserve
demon.
that, dear. Mind crush.
That's like a... Oh, that's an interesting shield. She's beaming.
You're beneath me.
Hey, that Iron Man is terrible. Let's swap. Oh my...
Oh my god,
damn.
she just grabbed him by the throat.
Oh, that's personal. Wait, you can actually you can kick people off the map like that.
Hey.
What's all this action? She mind controlled them? Wait, is that actually a mind
That's
control?
White
No.
Queen.
She looks broken. Like Emma Frost, on first look, she's got she just turns herself into Diamond. She takes way less damage, and then she's immune to stun. She throws out that little projectile shield, but it has a lot of HP. It has 500 HP, and then her ult is literally just mind control. So I don't know.
And her gun is like a beam. That's not really... No tanks have that, and
Yeah.
it's gonna force people to actually have to aim their mouse at people instead of just being close enough and just hitting them. So that'll be...
There's a lot of punchy tanks right
yeah,
now.
there's a lot of you just just smacking them, but there's not like a you know what I mean.
I'm happy we get a gun tank.
Yeah. All right, now we're taking a look at the season 2 patch notes to see what's going on next. So first we got Cap's base health is going down by 25, and they're reducing the shield value of Living Legend from 400 to 350.
What's Living Legend?
It's one of his abilities.
Okay, thank you.
But it seems like it's a small nerf. He's not really seen in the meta much right now, so I think he's just... Nothing's going to change. I think he's probably still going to be bad. And then we got Doctor Strange. So Strange has his daggers of Dinak damage per projectile from 18 to 16. I think that's his left click. That's got to be his left click because this is per projectile. That's got to be his left click, so it's just going to do less damage.
Thank God.
And then they're going to reduce the Maelstrom of Madness conversion ratio. That's his charge that he gets before he gets can't heal anymore. They're reducing that by 0.1, which is not that big, but definitely the left click nerf is a pretty big deal. 2 less damage on each little left click hit is pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean Strange's pick rate, the past season 0 and season 1 was really really high, right? He was on almost every single game, especially in Eternity. So hopefully this will let some other Vanguards be able to shine, because I am so sick of Strange walking up to me, throwing his little bullets at me, and then just going, ugh, and then I'm dead.
He does do that, and then you just go, ugh. Alright, so now we got Hulk. So his base move speed is going up by 50, so we got
he fast
a
boy.
little bit faster. He's going to be punching you a little bit quicker.
I don't like that.
His cooldown time for his, I think this must be his shift, his bubble ability.
Yeah, his bubble.
Down by 2 seconds. Okay, pretty good.
That's a big deal.
And then they're decreasing the minimum charge time from 0.7 to 0.5. So pretty.
So he's able to jump around like
Yeah.
a little bit faster.
So he moves around faster and he jumps around faster and he shields himself faster. So a lot of focus on like his survivability. So hopefully that'll keep him in the meta so that he's not just kind of put on the bench and not really played much. But pretty interesting, pretty cool. I think Hulk in the game is pretty fun for like viewers and also players.
With the new Vanguard being in the game too, and it looks like she's really good. More Vanguards being really good, I think, makes Hulk even harder to play. So hopefully this will keep him relevant.
We'll see how everything goes. So then it looks like they're nerfing Magneto's ult charge generation by 300. It's kind of not a huge change. I think that his ult is very, very good because it's so like versatile. You can use it defensively, you can use it offensively, defensively, however you want to think about using it. You can probably use it that way. So I mean, slight nerf, but he's still just a very, very strong tank, and I think he will most likely be one of the strongest tanks. We move on to Penny Parker, who is probably one of the least picked tanks in the whole game. So now her cluster has a chance to crit. Okay. It reduces the movement speed penalty while firing the cluster from 40% to 20%, and they're increasing her health by 100.
What's the...
I think it's her like right click. She shoots like a web.
Oh.
She like webs you.
Now it has a chance to crit?
What is that chance?
Yeah,
to
what does
crit?
that mean? What
Like,
percent? What are we looking at
I don't
here?
know, but it's
So like 1 out of like 20 times I'm just gonna get hit by it and then it explode?
this
Like
might-
what does that
this
mean?
might be a hot take, but I think the bad hero might stay bad here. So
They're
just gonna
giving
move
her
on.
100 extra HP, but that's just 100
She
extra
needs
more
about
ult charge
she needs
for
about
me.
400 more HP to even consider playing. I think it looks like they're nerfing the thing. They're decreasing his leap damage reduction effect for himself and teammates from 30 to 25. So slight nerf. You know, I've been recently playing a lot of Thing, so I'm sad to see him get nerfed, but sometimes that's just how it goes. He's a pretty solid tank right now. I think he's most likely going to continue to be a pretty solid tank.
This is really interesting.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest tank change, I think. Well, aside from like Hulk getting like pretty big, kind of not big buffs, but like buffs across the board, would be Hulk, or not Hulk, sorry, Thor. So Thor's base health is going from 525 to 600, so immediately 75 more HP, and this is also a big buff because Thor is a hero that like just generates a lot of barriers and shields from using abilities.
Yeah.
So
He has
you know.
he already has like pretty good survivability, I would
yeah,
say.
so he's gonna get a pretty big buff here in terms of like being able to stay in the fight and continue doing what he needs to do as a tank, of course. And then his move speed is getting buffed by 50, similar to Hulk, so it's gonna be a lot easier for you to kind of close the distance and start whacking people with the hammer. But I definitely think like Thor and Hulk definitely benefited the most from this patch.
Because Thor, he has that ability where he like pushes people around. I almost wonder if we'll see more Thors using that to like split tanks, or if they'll just strictly be bullying like the Strategist or something. But it'll be pretty interesting.
Now I would
to see.
expect a lot of like tank bullying from him because he just kind of pushes you around. Another thing to mention here in this patch is that like there's no Groot changes, and at least for me, I mean me specifically, I've been picking up a lot of Groot recently. And I think that hero is just amazing. Like, he does so much. He's so oppressive to play against. The walls are so powerful. He does so much damage that him not being changed at all, I think, is pretty telling that he's going to see a lot of playtime next patch as well.
We're in like a patch right now where at the highest level, it's either you play Groot or you ban Groot. There is no like...
Groot is the
Groot is-
end. He is
Groot
the
is
end boss.
here.
He is the final boss. There is... You either play the Groot or you suffer and you die to the Groot. Maybe with all these patch changes, it'll be a little bit different this next season, but that's kind of how it is right now. Like, at least in like the higher
it's
ranks.
interesting that they didn't think he needs changes. Alright, so now we're looking at the Duelist changes. First up is Black Widow. So after she kicks somebody, she can shoot them right
She
away.
kicks people?
Yeah, she has like a little combo where she can like knock you up in the air. After her little combo, she can then like shoot her gun. She used to be like locked into.
Well,
not
should she
being
knock
able
you
to-
up and shoot you right away or something?
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be
Yeah,
cool.
it
She
could
still
be
kind of
good.
sucks right now, but like maybe not anymore.
Yeah, I've been saying like I don't think this change to Widow will do much, but Widow's kind of like one of those characters where if they buff her even a little bit, like her primary fire, her like actual like scope gun, she could just change the game so drastically. So I think this change is okay. Right now, even in like top 500, we've been seeing, not in scrims at all yet. I'm curious to see if there would be a team that would try. But we've been seeing like Widow players run around with like a Mantis damage boost, and they're just able to one-shot everybody in the lobby. Like every squishy, they're just able to like run around and one-shot. And like it changes the game and how you have to play so much. It's like a dramatic difference. Right now she's at this like point where she's like bad, right? But if she gets changed at all, she goes from like really bad to like just broken, and you have to play her every single game. So it's interesting. I'm glad that they're not changing that part of her kit yet. But I'm scared of her. I'm scared of what the future might hold with her. She has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
So next is Hawkeye. They're reducing the slow effect while charging his bow from 30% to 20%, so he'll get to move around a little bit faster while he's charged, a little bit less downtime. They're increasing both instances of damage for hypersonic arrow from 50 to 55, so a little buff on his damage. And then they're decreasing the cost of his ultimate and improving bow draw speed increase.
Wow, pretty buffs across the board for Hawkeye. What do you think about his changes?
He's kind of in the same boat as like Widow, right? Like if you buffed him too much, he's just going to be in every single game. And I think one-shot abilities in particular are really like unfun for the average player to play against. I mean, it's unfun for me to play against, but I mean, you're a tank, so you have a million HP.
Yeah, you see, I'm Groot, so he got to shoot me a couple more times than one time. Not my problem, but big problem for you.
So yeah, this definitely makes him more viable. I don't think he's necessarily like a terrible hero right now either, so I think we'll be seeing a little bit more Hawkeye this season, at least in ranked. Next we have Hela. They increased the cooldown time for Astral Flock from 12 seconds to 15 seconds. So they nerfed her bird, right? They gave it a 3-second longer cooldown, which I think is good.
Pretty significant, yeah. Not
I think
bad.
that's good.
Good start, yeah.
I need to see less flanking Hellas in my games, and you guys just need to sit main. They increased her spell field damage of piercing net. Is that her stun, or is that her right click?
I don't know if that's her stun or right click, but it's a buff, so it's two thumbs down for me. Boo.
And then they decreased the cooldown time for Soul Drainer from 12 to 10 seconds. I think that's her stun.
Wait, so they buffed her stun?
Yeah, they buffed her stun.
Here's the thing. With this change, Hela is still going to be very, very powerful and oppressive.
Yeah.
Unless there's some kind of crazy shakeup, she's going to be seen a lot. Especially in like high level play, I think.
Yeah.
Very similar to Groot, like it's either you play the hero or you ban the hero.
They didn't change her like actual damage at all, and that's what makes her really, really strong. They didn't change that at all. She's still got like the ability to two-tap squishies, and that's the scary part. Next we have Human Torch. So he's got a lot of changes since he was kind of put into the game, and honestly, I don't know if he's bad anymore. I've been playing against him in ranked, and
no, I think he's got some moments where he can actually do a lot. I think there's a lot of people that are just kind of like shied away from him because he was this new hero and people didn't really know what to do with him, and they wanted to just focus on the heroes they knew were already good. He's a sneaky hero. I think he can actually be really, really good in specific situations, not all the time. It's not Hela. Let's relax.
They reduced the attack interval for Fire Cluster from 0.6 seconds to 0.5 seconds. The launch timing of the primary attack projectile has been advanced. I don't know what that means. I don't know what this hero does.
Something got sped up. That's what it means.
Increase the cooldown for Flaming Meteor from 12 to 15 seconds. Is that his smash? Is that when he like lands on you?
That's gotta be his drop down.
Okay. But adds a new effect. After releasing Flaming Meteor, immediately gain 75 bonus health, which will start to fall off 3 seconds later at a rate of 30 per second.
That's pretty good. I think one of his biggest kind of drawbacks was the fact that like
he's kind of squishy.
People like get onto him, like a Star-Lord for example, he kind of just dies. But maybe giving him a little bit bonus health will let him kind of like fight a little bit better. I think it's just a good change for him.
Yeah, I'm curious about the power creep on him because, like I said, I think he's kind of sneaky good right now. Like, I've been playing lobbies where, you know, the other DPS on our team will have like 20k damage, and then he'll have like 60 to 70k just because of like just how much damage he puts out, right? So he can kind of be sneaky good, and they keep buffing him. So I'm wondering if he'll get to that point where he'll just be broken and we'll just see him in every game.
I think he definitely excels when things are really like slow in the game.
Alright, next up we have Iron Man. They're reducing his hitbox size, which I know from Rymazing that was a major complaint of his, that his character was too loud and he was too big, too damn big. So depending on how big the hitbox change is, that could be pretty good, because I know right now Hela just kind of eats that guy up right out of the sky, right? He has a new feature. He gains 100 bonus health activating Armor Overdrive or Gamma Overdrive that will start to fall off 5 seconds later at a rate of 30 per second. So he kind of has the Human Torch effect where they're popping an ability and they're getting 100 bonus health.
He's got a similar issue to Torch, where it's like he kind of falls over in like 1v1s and stuff like that. So I think they kind of have like the same line of thinking here with this change. And I think it's a good change. I'm not sure if we'll see him like played a lot more, but he definitely got better.
And then Iron Fist is up next.
Okay, before we even talk about it, patch notes, this hero is amazing.
This guy made our DPS player play Iron Fist for like a week straight.
I'm literally the biggest Iron Fist head. This hero, I think, is broken. And I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf, but I just want to say, in Season 1 and Season 1.5, this hero is sleeper OP. Once people start waking up, I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf, but this hero, insane.
I don't agree, but let's see. Let's see what the changes are. The first change is they're going to reduce the bonus max health gain from Harmony Recovery to 150 to 100.
He sucks. Don't play this guy. Oh my god, why did nerf?
But slow the fall off rate of the health from 25 per second to 15 per second.
We're back.
The next change is they lower the fixed damage of I'm not saying that.
I got that.
Alright.
It's Yat-Ji Chung-Quen.
Okay, good job.
Yep.
From 10 to 9, but increase the percentage damage of the enemy's max health per strike
so
from
back.
1.7 to 2.1.
We are so back.
Is that his ultimate, or
That's
is that his right click?
That's
Okay.
every punch. No, but think about this. Every punch
Is 2% damage.
is now buffed in terms of percentage damage.
Wow.
So
He's a tank eater.
yeah, he will eat you up and
He's gonna
spit
eat
you out.
up. Okay, so they decrease the cooldown for his kick from 12 seconds to 10 seconds.
We're back.
What's his kick?
His shift, he flies.
Oh, so they made him a lot more mobile.
Yeah, more mobile and does
Interesting.
more damage. I'm telling you, listen here. For all you DPS players that want to pick up a new hero, I'm telling you, Iron Fist. 100%. Iron Fist is the way to go. So I'm telling you right now, though, Iron Fist is the way. Don't go listen to her. Because this hero is unbelievable. And nobody knows it yet. So buy the stocks now while they're low.
Invest in your Iron Fist stocks. Alright, Mr. Fantastic is up. He is getting an increase in base health from 350 to 375. Okay. They are boosting the damage of Stretch Punch from 60 to 65, and then from 75 to 80 while in inflated state. So
Inflated.
flexible elongation new effect. Dude, all of this hero's abilities are
Flexible
goofy.
elongation. Guys, I'm gonna activate my flexible elongation here. Please pocket me. Guys, I'm elongating. I'm in my inflated state now.
He's so goofy. I hate how goofy he is.
I'm gonna pop my brainiac bounce. Like, come on, let's be real with this.
Flexible elongation new effect. New effect.
New effect.
Enemies within range now suffer a 35% slow effect, so he can slow people. And then it reduces flexible elongation cooldown time from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. So,
Wow.
so far just straight buffs across the board.
They're really trying to boost this guy up.
Alright, next change. Reduce the elasticity gained from elastic strength, passive ability, from 30 to 20, while elasticity provided by stretch punch is increased from 5 to 8. After entering the inflated state, the bonus health provided to self has been reduced from 450 to 400. So this is our first like change. It's not really like a buff or a nerf. It's just a change. Yeah. It looks like so he gets less elasticity passively, but he gets way more by like actually punching.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to raise his skill ceiling a little bit, right? Like the better fantastic players will be able to have more elasticity and get to that inflated state faster.
And then they can possibly use their flexible elongation. And then right after that they can use their brainiac bounce to start bouncing on it. And I don't mean the enemy team.
That's just a change. I do think it rewards players that are able to like hit their shots a little bit more. The players that don't, they're a little bit more punished for not hitting that, so that's good. And then they have a new feature for Mr. Fantastic. When he uses Brainiac Bounce, which is his ult, okay, he immediately gains bonus health equal to that.
Gains bonus health equal to that gained when entering inflated state. It makes sense, but it's worded very poorly.
He just gets extra bonus health. I don't know what
He
that
gets the
means.
same bonus health that he would get when he gets into his inflated state.
Oh.
So that when he does the Brainiac bounce, he can bounce on it more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Crazy buffs, though. Like,
Really crazy buffs. The 5 Mr. Fantastic players out there are shitting their pants.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Enjoy. I would be surprised to see any other hero get this much buffs. Like, this has got to be the hero with the most buffs in one patch. Like, wow. They're really trying to make this hero, like, very playable.
He's so goofy.
He's very clearly, like, the way you play him, you know, in an ideal setting is, like, kind of like in a brawly, like...
He's definitely like a tank DPS.
So think like Wolverine or Iron Fist, buy your stocks now while they're low. And just kind of like gets in there and starts scrapping and throwing hands. So honestly, interesting, very goofy character. I hope to see him kind of like bouncing on it more.
Next change is for Moon Knight. So they increased the crescent dart projectile speed from 120 how fast is that? 120 miles per hour? What is that? Meters per second? Is that it?
Milliseconds? No.
No, it's increasing the speed.
No,
that's not it either. So they made that a little bit faster. I don't think that changes much. Moonblade new effect. What's his Moonblade? So one of the abilities he has gains 25 bonus health with each enemy hit, up to a max of 100. 3 seconds after the bonus health stops increasing, it will start at a fall off of 20%.
Is that his left click? No way he's getting 25 bonus health with each enemy hit for...
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
100.
If he
That's
just gets
crazy.
bonus health forever.
Is that his left click? There's no way.
Sped up Moon Knight hook pull startup time after hit from 0.4
Wow.
seconds to 0.15. So
That's
he's
crazy.
faster now.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of slow before. He'd like throw it and then he'd be like wee, and it was
Yeah.
kind of slow.
And now
but
he's like...
yeah, now he's like zoom. Okay, he's zooming. Extend the duration of Hand of Khonshu, which is his ult, from 3.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds. Wow. And increase the number of talents generated during this period from 14 to 18. Additionally, the fall speed of the fall speed of the talents has been slightly enhanced. A new damage fall-off mechanic for the spell field has been added, beginning at 1.5 meters from the center and reaching a maximum reduction of 70% at 5 meters.
Oh.
So it's stronger in the middle of the ult, like
So what
kind
I'm
of like
hearing-
Namor.
What I'm hearing is Guru Moon Knight is back on the table. Because when you got him in the Grudo, they just be sitting there.
Wait, this ult seems crazy though. Like
That does seem pretty crazy. They're definitely
if
doing some stuff.
it is his left click
They're
that
cooking.
gives him bonus health, he might be really good. Because before, the issue with Moon Knight, like on this current patch, is like he just kind of he's got a really big hitbox, and he doesn't have much to kind of like help him deal with like a Psylocke or a Star-Lord or really any other DPS. But if he's able to just like land shots and get bonus health, that's a big deal, right? Like it's a lot harder for him to just kind of like fall over by himself. Okay, so for Scarlet Witch, they removed Chaos Control percentage damage while increasing fixed damage from 60 to 80. So huge freaking buff. 60.
Is that her left click?
Yeah, I think that's her left click. Yeah, so she does 20 more damage per second, which is just insane. They increased her burst projectile damage from 35 to 40 and spell field damage from 35 to 40. So
Okay.
that's huge. Also just flat damage buffs, okay. Increased the cooldown of Mystic Projection from 8 to 10 seconds and reduced phase state time from 2 to 1.5 seconds. So they nerfed... The thing about Scarlet before was like, okay, she didn't do too much, but she was very like survivable. So if you were like maybe... a lower ranked player and it was a lot harder for you to deal with like a Spider-Man or a Black Panther or like a Star-Lord, you could play Scarlet Witch and you had 2 fades and there's some pretty short cooldown and you didn't really have to aim and it gave you a lot of like survivability and like options basically. But they're kind of going away from that, it looks like, and just kind of making her more of a damage powerhouse and reducing her survivability just like a tiny bit. I don't think it'll change it too much, but it is like an interesting change in the direction they're going for.
Yeah.
Rework the slow effect of reality erasure to start at 1.5 seconds instead of starting immediately, with a linear increase to a 35% slow over 3.5 seconds.
That's so weird.
No, it doesn't slow other people. I think it's talking about her. I think they want... It says while optimizing her ultimate abilities release, so she can move faster.
So when she pops it, she can run around a little bit quicker for 1.5
Yeah.
seconds, then it starts to slow her down.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I mean, pretty good buffs. I think that, I mean, my personal
She's kind
opinion...
of scary. That's kind of
My
scary.
personal opinion is that I don't know. She's kind of a hero that like has a very low like skill floor. Like you can just pick her up. I don't like this hero. She's probably gonna get played more. We'll see what happens. Next hero.
Star-Lord, reduce blaster barrage damage from 80 per second to 75. Introduce a new fall-off mechanic starting at 4 meters and maxing out at 80% reduction at 8 meters.
Yeah, so I think that's his E ability, and so it's just gonna reduce kind of his like AOE kind of team-wide damage that he would get from spinning, which has been, it's really
strong.
It's really strong and really prominent,
Yeah.
like in high-level play, that you just kind of like spin around every time. Maybe you get a mag bubble, and you kind of do like a bunch of damage to the enemy team. So
and you build ult really, really fast.
yeah, so pretty deserving nerf. I'm not sure how much it's going to impact his like playtime, but definitely something to consider moving forward.
I do like the fall off mechanic because it did seem like you could be really far from that guy and it would still hit you. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with that change. I think that it will make him a little bit more skillful while not necessarily making him bad. So I'm good with that. Okay, Winter Soldier. Increase the cooldown time for Bionic Hook from
Thank
8
you.
to 12
Thank
seconds. Okay, no more getting hooked for you.
Thank you.
Reduce the base damage of Kraken Impact, which is his ult, from 100 to 80, but lower the cooling threshold from 25% of maximum health to 15. So it does less damage, and then also you need to get them lower to one shot.
Get him out of here.
Awesome. That's great. That
So
is a
that does
really
mean
good
that
change.
Winter Soldier honestly might be one of the biggest losers from this patch.
These are great changes. Keep them coming.
Great changes if you hate the hero. If you
hate
like
the
the hero, then start thinking about playing Mr. Fantastic and bouncing on it because we're changing it up.
All right, Wolverine. I don't know what this means. They're increasing rage gain from Savage Claw hits from 7 to 10, while rage gain from Berserk Claw Strike has been decreased from 7 to 5. Reduce range gain from Feral Leap to 20 to 10, and from Vicious and from Vicious Rampage from 20 to 15. However, rage gained from taking damage has been increased from 3 to 5.
What I'm thinking here is that he's gonna get more angry because they're changing his rage.
I don't know what
he's gonna
any
rage
of that
out.
means.
So I think context clues here. Savage Claw. It says hits, so it means more than one. So it's not his right click. It's gotta be his left click, right? Yeah, it's when he goes like that. So he gets 3 extra rage per hit. Wait, that sounds insane. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to get like melee range, so I guess it's like a trade-off, right? Like he gets on top of you, he kind of messes you up. That's kind of what he does.
So he's basically just rewarded for getting in there and getting crazy.
I think so, because they buffed like his left click rage and also the
his taking damage.
His taking damage. So they want Wolverine players to get in there and not do more, like not do the whole like hiding around a corner, gonna sneaky grab you. And then the last change is like they're reducing the time enemies knocked down after ult. From 1 second to
Thank God.
0.75.
There's so many times where I'm just like spamming my like MO as Loki and I just barely don't get it, or like my ult as Luna and I like barely just don't get it off in time.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be the breaking point to where I can just barely like inch out those ults and like be able to save my team if I get caught in it.
Yeah.
Because that ult is broken and I feel like I can play so far from my team and he still just scoops me up.
Alright, now we're moving on to the strategists. Adam Warlock, they're increasing the soulbound from 30 seconds to 40 seconds. This is pretty bad if you're an Adam enjoyer.
Yep.
Because unlike Loki Immortality field, the soulbound cooldown doesn't get refreshed until the whole ability is done. So they're increasing his cooldown time from soulbound from 30 seconds to 40 seconds, so pretty big change there. Honestly, very, very bad if you're an Adam enjoyer. For his ultimate ability, it now restores 30% of a fallen enemy's or fallen ally's maximum health instead of a fixed 100%. So
This is good.
100 health.
Like, this is a pretty good change because me as like a strategist player, like, if all of my team gets rezzed and my 2 tanks are standing next to me, I'm like, please God, let me get them to full HP before they push us, because they're just standing there with 100 HP on Groot, and I'm like, you're just gonna die. It's so, and then you're spending so much time trying to like heal them.
Honestly, really, really big change
Really,
here.
really big nerf for him.
Big L for Adam Warlock and all his Warlock warriors out there. Alright, now moving on to Cloak and Dagger. After activating her ultimate ability, the duration of the first 3 healing zones will no longer be calculated separately. Instead, they will remain active until the duration of the final healing zone ends, at which all will be removed together. Okay.
So it's an overall buff. I play a lot of cloak and dagger, right? So it's kind of awkward where like where you chose to end your ult mattered a lot, right? And
Because it would be the last one down.
it would be the last one. So a lot of times you'd want to go like aggressive into like the enemy team's backline or something, but you just couldn't because if you do that, then there's no ult on point for the people who need it. So this is a good change. It also just makes her ult, like, it doesn't last longer, like, technically, but it lasts longer. Like, the actual, like, area of effect lasts longer.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good change. It kind of feels like a quality of life thing because before it was just kind of awkward. After they made it so you couldn't, stack it anymore.
Yeah.
So this is good. I think we'll see a lot more aggressive cloak ults, right? Because you can just kind of leave the people behind on point and they'll be chilling.
So Invisible Woman, decreasing the shield value of the Guardian shield from 300 to 50. So I guess small nerf, but not a huge difference. I think she'll still be a really, really strong hero in the next season.
I think this is a fine change. Her shield was pretty strong, right? Like we were seeing lots of situations where a Hello and Namor would just like flank behind, just have the shield, and then they're kind of like unkillable for the whole time it takes for you to break the shield, which is a decent chunk of time.
Yeah.
So I think this is a perfectly fine change. It's gonna mean that Invisible Woman players are gonna have to time their shields a lot more. So I know, like for me and Kurova, like we can put the shield down and stand in a certain way to completely just negate mag ults 100% of the time. But that timing is gonna have to be a lot more important, right? Because they just have a little bit more time to break it, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I think it's totally fine. I think she'll still be good.
And now moving on to Loki. So Loki's regeneration domain cooldown from 25 to 30. Is that his?
That's his.
MO?
Yep, that's the immortality field.
But again, similar. Unlike Adam, his cooldown starts once you drop it on the floor, not when it ends. And so this is a nerf, of course, but not as impactful as it is for Adam.
Nerf.
Yeah.
The Adam nerf was 10 seconds, the Loki nerf is only 5, and Loki just in general has like a shorter cooldown because, one is shorter, and 2...
It starts quicker.
Yeah. I think we'll still see a lot of Loki. He still does way too much freaking damage, his clone up time is still way too crazy, and 5 seconds of you'll feel it, but it's still going to be pretty impactful, so...
Yeah.
I would still imagine we're seeing a lot of Loki.
Agreed. And now for Mantis. So Mantis's base health is going to go down from 275 to 250. So small little nerf there. And then her effects of Healing Flower and Allied Inspiration can be stacked up to a maximum of 16 seconds. So that doesn't mean her heal and damage boost at one time? Or
Yeah, so what it means is each seed is 8 seconds. So if I want, like, let's say, like, my Star-Lord wants to go on, like, a big flank or something, or my Psylocke, instead of just giving her 8 seconds of heal over time and damage boost, I can give her 2 extra seeds and give her 16 seconds of that.
Wow, that's a lot.
But that is, like, all your seeds. Like, if
Yeah.
you wanted to double up on both, that's all your seeds for the fight.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, though. Pretty interesting change. I think maybe you can open up new ways to play the hero. Moving on to Rocket Raccoon. Honestly, one of the bigger changes of the patch by far, and I think actually one of the least kind of talked about because this is a really, really big change. And I genuinely think that looking at these changes, like Rocket Raccoon will see a lot more playtime in the next season. So they're decreasing the healing area of repair mode spheres from 70 health per second to 50 health per second, but added a new effect of one-time healing of 55 health to allies hit. And then the projectile speed the projectile speed reduction is increased from 4.5 to 7. So what does this mean exactly?
So when your little balls hit somebody,
Yeah.
they slow down.
Okay.
So they slow down a little bit more. I mean, it's good and bad in certain situations. If you're trying to heal somebody who's far away and somebody's standing in front of you with 20 HP missing and they're slowly taking damage, right? If you're trying to heal through that person, you're not going to get to that person that's far away, right? Because they're going to be really, really slowed. But it's kind of like a give and take, right? If you have somebody in front of you who's taking a lot of damage, your balls are going to stick around for a little bit longer before zooming off past them, right?
Right.
So it's a change. It's not really like a good or a bad change. The big thing is that each ball is gonna give 55 health to allies hit. And I don't know if that's like an instant thing or if it's like a slow thing. It sounds like it's an instant thing where if the ball hits them, gets into their range, whatever, and then immediately gives them 55 HP. That seems broken.
Yeah, that's a pretty big number.
Yeah. And they're not changing how fast Rocket puts them out. Like, Rocket puts them out pretty dang quick,
He'd be
right?
pumping out the balls.
So, if they don't change that, I would imagine he's going to be pretty freaking busted just in terms of healing numbers.
Yeah. The next change is that they're extending the cooldown of Jetpack Dash from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. And they're reducing the dash distance from 10 meters to 8 meters. So they're like decreasing his mobility a little bit, yeah. And then a very crazy change, or very kind of big shift in kind of like, I guess, a play style, or just, I mean, his ult in general,
just
right?
Everything.
Is that his ultimate abilities damage boost is being reduced from 40% to 25%.
Yep.
But it has a brand new effect, and during the ability's duration, linked allies will receive an additional 100 bonus health points per second, capping at 150. And then after breaking the link, this bonus starts to fall off after 1 second at a rate of 75 per second. And additionally, the ult is going to be increased from 3,700 to 4,000 to be able to use the ability.
I have a lot of thoughts here. And first, we'll start with the simplest, which is the cost of the ultimate is 4,000. Every other support ult in the game is above 4,300 plus, right? So as it stands, it was a very cheap ult. It's still the cheapest support ultimate you can get right now. And I only think they increased it, not because they want players to necessarily get it faster, but because they want to keep it the same, and his numbers are going to be impacted so much more just by how much more healing he's going to be doing by his right click. So I think he'll get it in about the same time, maybe even a little bit faster, right? I don't know if that's correct or not. My second thought is the damage boost from the Rocket ult before was really good, but it was also overkill. There's a lot of breaking points in this game that are reached from like 15 to 20% damage boost, right? Which is what you kind of get from Mantis around, or Luna damage boost. And the extra like 20% that the ult gave you originally was just kind of overkill, right? It was just kind of like, it was nice, it was good, but you don't need it to one-shot with Venom. You don't need it to one-shot with Namor ult, right? It was already covered, right? And it still is already covered with just 25%. He lets Namor one-shot still. He lets Venom one-shot still. Think of any other ult, he can probably help them a lot with just the 25%. That's still a lot of damage increased. But now, you get 100 bonus health per second. So now, not only is this a very aggressive ult still that lets you push these breaking points, now it's also effectively a support ult, which is what people were wanting before, right? They were like, well, you know, we can't run Rocket because we need 2 support ults. Well, now it is a support ult. Not only is it a support ult and an offensive ult, it's also one where Rocket doesn't need to give up his own autonomy, right? Like, if you think of like Luna Snow, she has to choose between healing or damage, and she can't use any of her ability. That's what she's doing for the next 12 seconds, right? Rocket throws it down, his team gets bonus health and damage boost, right? Luna's locked between either or, and he can still shoot his gun and run around and do his like healing per second that got majorly buffed, right? So what the heck is going on, right? Like, this guy can do everything at one time. It just seems insane to me, right? Like, he doesn't have to choose between either or, and he can still shoot his gun, right? Like, that, it's mind-blowing to me. I think Rocket is going to be extremely broken, which is crazy, right? He's one of the easier characters in the game, and he's about to be running every single game.
It's time for the new age.
The age of Rocket Raccoon.
The age of Rocket Raccoon. I will say, though, that you still gotta be a little bit smarter with this ult, because it can break. Like,
yeah,
it's not just an immortality, like, you can't break it or anything about it.
Yeah.
It can break, and honestly, it breaks pretty fast.
I think people now will be able to like break that a lot faster. I think people will start doing that a lot more. That is a good point.
So you do gotta be a little sneaky about where you place it, but it does seem to be a very, very powerful ultimate. So yeah, pretty interesting change. I think we'll definitely see A lot of Rocket. And yeah, I guess we're going to be moving on to the team-up abilities.
Alright, so Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch now have a team-up. Doctor Strange gains a maximum health increase of 100. And Scarlet Witch unlocks a new ability called Mystic Burst, which I think we can watch a video on. I think I have actually seen this, but I know you haven't.
Dan, he's just posted up there.
Look at it. So this is, okay, so I know what he's saying. He's saying this is the ability without you using anything else. So that's just the ability by itself. But at the same time, you can use your left click and your right clicks while you use that ability.
Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna die.
It's on a 30-second cooldown. But it seems insane.
She be blasting.
Yeah.
She be bursting. That does look pretty crazy.
They buffed her ult. They buffed her base damage to 20 per second more. They nerfed her survivability a tiny bit. Overall, this is like a huge buff for her and this like crazy new ability, right?
Yeah.
Who's this team up with? Strange?
Yeah.
Strange has played a ton.
Oh, he did get nerfed a lot.
He did get nerfed a lot.
I honestly, I don't think we're gonna see this team up that much outside, like in terms of like pro play and like
Yeah, maybe
scrims
not.
and stuff. I think Strange.
I don't know though. It does so much damage.
I mean, honestly,
so
that's not
fast.
entirely true because there's just bans, right? So like there
Yeah.
could definitely be possibilities where Strange is played.
Captain America and Winter Soldier now
Wow.
have a team up. Who saw that coming?
It's just butt and ass. That's that team up. Nope, ain't nobody playing those heroes anymore. All right, let's look at what this changes though.
So, as a team up anchor, Captain America gains a maximum health increase of 100 and a 5% boost in damage output. Winter Soldier unlocks the devastating stellar impact ability through his team up with Captain America. So I don't know what that means, but his ult is like an impact ability, so maybe this buffs his ult. I'm not sure. Or it looks like he just gets a new ability.
Yeah, he gets a new one. Probably like it's the ability to TP to spawn and swap heroes because that hero is just no good probably.
So Emma Frost, Psylocke, and Magneto have a new team up. As the team up anchor, Emma Frost gains a maximum health increase of 100. By the way, as anchors, you get that no matter if the other characters are on your team or not. So basically
That's
for
a
the
good
season, Emma Frost is going to have 100% health increase, and it'll be the same with Captain America and Doctor Strange, right? They all have this like increased health, which it seems like they're doing through a lot of the tanks, so maybe some of them already have that in the game. I'm not sure. Either way, as the anchor,
Yeah, Groot's anchor and Hulk is anchor.
right? Okay, so as anchors, they already have that health increase. You don't have to play the other characters in that team up to get that. You just automatically get that as an anchor. Magneto receives magnetic resonance ability through his team up with Emma Frost. Okay, so I know what this is. It basically lets you throw down a copy of yourself that kind of follows you around and copies all of your abilities. So for Mag, if he puts up his shield, the copy also puts up his shield next to you. And if you put a bubble out, he also puts a bubble out. If you throw out your left click or your right click, he also does that.
Sounds a bit crazy.
It's pretty freaking
It depends on
crazy.
how big the cooldown is, but that does sound pretty powerful.
I think it's like 30 seconds, I'm not sure.
That's not enough.
Psylocke is the same, so her clone also follows her around and also copies all of her abilities. And the thing about Psylocke before is she has one-shot combos to kill squishies. And now she just gets 2 of those.
Yeah, what happens if she just goes invis and then she pops up behind you? Oh, I have a clone now. Boom! You're just dead. And you go back home. And then you go Bucky, you come out with stellar impact, you TV back to spawn, you swap again, you go fantastic, you bounce on it, and then you swap and you change game because you're just dead.
So that seems pretty freaking good,
Yeah.
right? I don't see any world. Magneto's already a strong character. Psylocke is already a strong character. Emma Frost already looks like she's gonna be strong. So I think these characters are gonna be played a lot.
Yeah, I think just based on like the notes, you can kind of make a pretty informed opinion about what the new season is going to look like.
Yeah.
I think Emma Frost with this team up seems very powerful. Magneto is already one of the
Really
best,
good.
if not the best. Like I think it's Groot, Magneto are the two like best,
Yeah.
honestly, tanks like in the whole game right now. And now giving him like a new ability to like copy himself can be pretty crazy. So I think we'll definitely be seeing a lot of Emma Frost and Magneto, and also just Psylocke with this kind of a team up.
So these are the team ups that are adjusted or removed. So Ammo Overload, which is Rocket Raccoon and Winter Soldier, they completely just took away Winter Soldier.
That was
team
one
up.
of the biggest things for him.
Yeah.
So they just took it away, like they're taking away his playtime, because nobody's playing his hero now. It's going to be a lot worse than it was before.
The Punisher, you know, team up with Rocket is pretty easy to like play around, but the Winter Soldier one is really difficult. Like they just kind of put that in your face and they're kind of all over you. It's pretty hard. Hook you in and throw down an ammo box in your face. It's pretty hard to play around, so I'm totally fine with that. Luna Snow and Namor. Namor has lost the frozen spawn ability, so no more Frio squids from Namor.
Nice.
Magic and Psylocke. Psylocke lost her like rewind ability, which is totally fine because she has now a crazy ability with Emma Frost, probably even a better ability because you would never really play Magic and Psylocke together. The Gamma Charge, which is Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Namor. So this is new. So Doctor Strange lost his Gamma Maelstrom ability, so no more Gamma
Strange. Another L
Strange.
for Strange.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yep.
But Namor now gains the Gamma Monstro ability.
Gamma Monstro.
Monstro ability through his team up with Hulk, so he gets those Gamma squids.
Yeah,
I've seen those
I've seen
too.
the little green squid that be shooting laser beams.
I've seen that. And then Metallic Chaos, which is Scarlet Witch and Magneto. The team up Anchor enhancement for Scarlet Witch has been removed. So, wow, okay. So whatever that was, she lost that. Maybe that's why they buffed her overall damage.
And then she just had it was like a damage boost.
I bet that's why they buffed her damage. And then Magneto loses the metallic fusion ability he had with his team up, which was his sword.
Yeah.
Right.
No more sword.
No more sword. The team up anchor effect for Thor has been removed, along with the voltaic union team up ability. Captain America loses the charged Aegis ability from his team up with
They just
Thor.
lost everything.
And Storm loses the
Wow.
charge gale. So they just fucking took that
They
team
just
up.
they just took them,
They
wrapped
just
them up
took
in a little
them
ball,
away.
and did one of those like little phone games where you try to throw the little paper ball in the garbage can, every like paper toss, and they just
okay.
threw it in a dumpster.
So honestly, for all of like the team ups, I think the Emma Frost Psylocke Mag team up is the most promising. And then I have seen the Scarlet Witch one. It seems pretty insane, especially when you take in the rest of her changes that she's had. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Aramori and Crimzo giving our thoughts on the Season 2 patch notes. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you! Bye!